I had a beautiful card from a really dear close friend, and it was a picture of a mermaid. And it's beautiful. I guess it's such a physical representation of I guess my legs, and you know, I could be a mermaid. When I was 16, life was fun. It was vibrant. I had lots of friends, a social life. Basically, I woke up on the Tuesday morning, headaches, nausea, vomiting, just felt really, really sick. I remember at one point going in and looking in the mirror in the bathroom and just looking into the mirror and just saying, I've never felt this sick before. What is going on? I had no idea what it was. I thought it was the food poisoning, the flu. I didn't know. But later in the afternoon, things, I guess, took a dramatic change. And I was asleep, and my mum came in and woke me up, and she noticed I had a rash on my legs. By that stage, some parts were turning black. She had no idea what it was, but she knew it was something serious. I mean, what can do that to your body but something absolutely deadly? And I was so fortunate that we only lived a couple of minutes away from the local hospital. She took me straight down. When I was in hospital, when I first arrived, I guess my body kind of gave it away what it was. And I was very fortunate that they administered the antibiotics so rapidly. It's what saved my life. I remember them saying that you would have to be airlifted to a bigger hospital in the city to be able to cope with what was about to be unleashed on my body. During that 2 weeks I was in a coma, my dad didn't take his hiking boots off. He was there, he sat there. Mum still to this day says that she just had a feeling, and she knew it was going to be okay. When I woke up from the coma, one of the first things I noticed was my hands. My beautiful, slender fingers were black and shriveled and corpse-like. And I knew that how could they come back? I knew that they were gone. They were still part of my body, but they were long gone. They were long dead. The night I had all of the skin from my arms and from my legs, my bum down, I had all the skin taken away. It was dead. It was black. It had to go. I didn't want it reinfecting my body. They took away muscle. It was physically the most difficult day of my life, I think. And unfortunately, some things happened in the hospital, and they failed to notice that I was actually losing blood. Luckily, my mum was with me. I was so scared. I remember looking down and seeing blood on the floor, and it was literally running out. When I became well enough, rehab was talked about, and I was 16, I was stubborn, I didn't want to go to rehab. I was just really fortunate that my local hospital said, okay, let's give this a crack. And there was a wonderful physio who was young and really motivated, and he was willing to help. The first time I stood up was incredible. To feel that physical sense of being upright and equal with everyone. But then in such a short time later, just the feeling of like knives, of excruciating pain from my stumps, slowly brought all of that crashing down. And I I questioned whether walking again was actually something that I wanted to do. I never particularly felt angry. I never searched for that person or that thing that gave me this disease. I was curious. Back then, no one knew what meningococcal was, really. It's amazing to think that this one disease, depending on when you're caught, the outcomes are so different. The last day of school, which was only a few days before I got meningococcal, we were down at the tennis courts in the sports lesson, and we had a camera and we were taking fun photos of ourselves, you know, the selfies and, you know, kissing each other in those different poses, very, you know, typical teenager kind of thing. And I put my hand on the mesh of the tennis court and I said, "Here, take a photo of my hand," thinking, wow, I'm 16, I'm nearly 16, I'm so artistic. And it's weird. It's just, I still look at this photo today and I think, that's why you just take a photo of a hand. 2 weeks later, I had no fingers. My hands had changed so much. And I don't know, just looking at it now, I think back and I look and I can see how beautiful my hands actually were. My fingers were long and slender, and my nails, even, I don't have a fingernail or a toenail on my body today. And I look at these and I go, wow, they just had such a beautiful curve and a beautiful shape. And I kind of feel sad looking at it. But it was a whole nother life ago. And what I've been able to achieve since then has been incredible. And really, what am I missing out on? A bit of fingernail polish, maybe. I had a beautiful card from a really dear close friend, and she, you know, wrote really beautiful words and said, you know, you're still an amazing person, you're still beautiful, you know, you've still got so much life to lead, and I want to watch you do that. And I saw this and I thought of you. And it was a picture of a mermaid, and a beautiful mermaid. She has, you know, long, beautiful hair, and, you know, obviously sort of around where my legs have been amputated, her legs become a fin, and it's beautiful. And she's just looking in the mirror and looking at herself. And I guess I didn't sort of really think about it at the time too much, but I guess it's such a physical representation of, I guess, my legs, and, you know, I could be a mermaid. And that's what she thought of me, and what I could become. I could be a mermaid. I could still swim. I could do anything. I could still be beautiful. But just before her stood the handsome young prince. Every step she took felt as if treading upon points of needles or sharp knives, but she bore it willingly and stepped lightly by the prince's side as a soap bubble, so that he and all who saw her wondered at her graceful swaying movements.